Okay, the Siyata Dishmaya. We want to go over the Tosfot, then we want to do the Marshal. So we did the Tosfot. Want to glance it through again inside, summarize it, and then see the Marshal. Toysa says, the Mishnah says, Bekesef. The Mishnah says a woman can being acquired with Kesef. Beishamai say bedino shvedino besil beputu shavutu. Tema, that just starts. What a wonder. The lavel lemitne la beshvei pruta. The Mishnah should have written only shvei pruta. Can it's nam be'azov as it says in Bometzir Nunhei. Chamisha pruta is in. There's 5 prutos. Aidor b'shvei pruta, or b'shvei shvei pruta. We found in Mishnah in Azov in Maseches Bometzir. The Mishnah counts there's 5 types of prutos. The money pruta has 5 halachot. As a one halacha or one who admits part of the claim, you need to swear. How much you need to admit? Shve pruta. Va'isha mitkadesh shve pruta. A woman gets engaged with a vaya pruta. So we see there the Mishnah opens with pruta and it goes on to shve pruta. So it shouldn't have. But when you say kesef, it shouldn't have said pruta. It should have said directly shve pruta, like it says in Bometzir. See, it tells us answers. V'yesh shloima. The Mishnah here is talking about she gets acquired with Kesef, and they explain which type of Kesef, which means Be'eza Kesef means how much quantity. So we're not talking about now Be'eza Kesef means which min and sug, the Be'eza Kesef how much. Quanto? I'm continuing reading now the second line. And according to, shouldn't mistaken to say, Kesef dafka or shve Kesef. Kesef specifically, not value of Kesef. Why? Is the effort. How do we know that a woman gets married with Kesef? She gets engaged with Kesef. There's a gzera shov that says ki yikach ishisha. A man takes a woman. So the word take yikach kicha. And we find the same word by so the Ephraim and Avraham Avinu took the field of Ephraim to bury his wife Sarah. And there it says the word Kesef, he gave 400 Kesef, over la Socher. The Chsibei Kesef. So therefore, there was a Avamina, you might mistaken Kesef Dafka. Maybe only Kesef. Meforesh, that's why the Mishnah says Shvei Kesef. Again. So what really the Mishnah Tosfos answers? That when it says in the Mishnah, Pruta, we're not talking about type. Because we already said type, we should have said directly Shvei Pruta. Because even Pruta is copper, Shvei Pruta. And we found the Mishnah in Bometzir that says Shvei Pruta. We don't say Pruta, but you can jump. If you say the Chiddush, Mimele, the less of a Chiddush is included. Say Shvei Pruta, Mimele Pruta is included. And not only that, it could be Pruta itself is also Shvei Pruta. Because Pruta is copper and not silver. The answer is that when the Mishnah said Pruta, we're not talking about type, what type of material you married with, you do Kiddushin. Rather, como, quanto, how much is the din of Rabbi Shammai? So we didn't talk, when we say Pruta, we didn't say type, kesef, silver, copper. It wasn't the subject matter. Subject matter is how much. And once we know how much, and we have to say, if you make a mistake, maybe only silver. How can you have Pruta when it's silver? So the Chazon Ish says that Pruta is 192, Dino is 192 Prutos. A person can Mekadesh a woman with 192 of the Dina. It says 191 is mine and 1 is yours. So we're going to be partners in this money. Okay? So really, you can have pruto even
So
inside silver. Talk about the value.
Yitzchak,
Yes, Reb Shmuel.
when the Torah says Kesef, it's referring to a certain matbea. It's referring to the material. What's it referring to?
But Pasha talk about material. As I said, I started the sugya that there was no coins in the time of the Torah. There's no coins. When we talk about the tzata the kesef biyotcho, the kesef shesh lo tzura, money which has shape, we talk about that the weight, the silver material, had a certain cut that they cut it and weighed it in tzur. And that's called matbea shesh bo tzura. But doesn't mean matbea as tavua, something they put a picture on it. Like today we put a picture, we put words. That only started 2,600 years ago by the Persians. But 3,400 years ago, the time of the Torah, matbea didn't exist. So you have to say, when we talk about kesef, silver could be piece of silver, no shape in it, or tsura, by loans, it says v'tzar tsura, which means like kesef tsuri. And the Gemara on page 12 says, kesef shel Torah matbea tsuri. The kesef of the Mishnah of the Torah is silver of tsuri, which means a certain cut that they cut it and shaped it in Tzur, in the city of Tzur of Lebanon, which today, this morning, we cut a history. 4 o'clock in the morning. What? Ceasefire. Ceasefire as a step to peace treaty. You guys might take a trip with me to Lebanon. No, I'm joking. What? Sure, we got the Tzur. Yes. Sure. Sure. So Tzor, matbea Tzur, the matbea of the Torah, yes, Yonatan. Today, right. Very little. What? So if so, Tosas didn't answer anything. Because what's Tosas kasha, what's Tosas answer? Tosas kasha was written Shvei Kesef. Shvei Pruto, sorry. The answer, so Tosas answers that we're talking about Beze Kesef, Dina or Pruto. Then afterwards, don't make a mistake. Kesef Dafka, we say also Shvei Kesef. But if Pruta is Nechoishes and Kesef is silver, and you mentioned Kesef as a Pruto, so you already said Shvei Kesef. Because Pruta is copper, as the Ritva says. Since Pruta is copper, is included Shvei Kesef. The answer is that the focus of the Mishnah is not the type. The focus of the Mishnah is how much. Dinar or Pruta. And I explain what does Pruta means if I say how much. I can give 192 Prutot, which is a full coin of dinar, and I can give Pruta one out of 192 of the dinar. But we're not talking about now material. I'm talking about value. Como? How much? Machloket. Beishamai say 192, which is a full dinar, and Beisir say 192 of a dinar, which is Pruta. The value of Pruta. But we're not talking about material yet. Don't make a mistake. There's Kesef Darka. We say no, Shvav Pruta, that even Shvek Kesef. Okay? Good.
Well, yes, sir.
Yeah, Reb Shmuel asked me a question and I didn't remember. What did he ask me?
No, I just asked you the Kesef of the Torah. You told me it was not a matbea, right? It wasn't right, but what?
A lot of people make this mistake. I, for many years, taught matbea, and the Divrei Cheskel and Chazon Ish, and all of them bring it down. And I thought matbea means like our literally word matbea in our days, and has build a shape and form inside the piece of silver or copper. That's called matbea. And I told you I met this professor from. I told you, I told everyone last week, or everybody here, I don't remember who I talked to, but Lamaise, this professor from the Tel Aviv University, many years ago, I went to Musaif and I told him the Stikl Torah. He was standing there, said, what are you learning? I was a young boy, one young man, young Avrech, I just got married, newly married. I was 25, 26 years old. Still considered not so young, but whatever it is. So I told him this Stikl Torah that about Shvekes, and he said, what are you talking about? There was no, the world didn't have any coins, sealed coins, only from the time of the Persians, 2,600 years, 400 years ago, 2,500 years ago. And they didn't find nowhere around the world in the ground coins before that. So it could be two options. Or that the money of the Torah was minority, small amounts. And not the whole world, but the Jewish people use it like we see in Maseches Basra. The Gemara Maseches Basra says that Avraham Avinu had matbeya. Remember we learned in Daf Yomi? Matbeya of Moshe, of Avraham Avinu had Besulo, Bochu, Besulo on one side, and Zaken Meskena on the other side, right? So I couldn't understand. How can you say there's no coins? So two options. Or that was the coin, not of Avraham Avinu. That was the coin that later on they made to remember Avraham Avinu. It doesn't mean Avraham Avinu had a coin. That's one option. Or Avraham Avinu's coin means there was some little people who had coins, small little kingdoms. But now it wasn't vast, spread around the world. And that's why I didn't find it, because it was a small amount in the ground. It was probably remelted and who knows what. That's one option, two options. But I rather say, either way, there's no matbeya, there's no sealed coin spread around the world 2,400 years ago, the time of the Torah.
So Rabbi Yitzchak,
Only 4 years later, coins came, or 900 years later, yes. Almost 1,000 years later. Go ahead,
Rabbi Hillel and Beit Shammai arguing what the kavanah of the Torah when it says Kesef.
Repeat. I need to hear. I can't hear what you say again. Repeat, please.
Yeah, there's Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai arguing what the kavanah of the Torah was when it said the word Kesef.
According to the Ritva, yes. Beit Shammai hold that the Kesef of the Torah means silver, and Shvei Kesef is a ribui. According to Beit Hillel, Kesef of the Torah never meant Kesef, meant the value. And copper, which is pruto, and shove pruto, all really all Shvei Kesef. But the Torah never meant really Kesef. And why they say pruto, shove pruto, I did Beit Shammai. This is according to the Ritva and the Havamina. I learned Pashas that Tosis and Havamina learned the same thing in the Ritva when he knocks it out. He says if it's true that pruto is copper and Shvei pruto is also Shvei pruto of copper, so the whole thing is Shvei. So just say Shvei pruto, you don't say pruto. So the answer is no. When we say pruto, we didn't talk about the material was made from. We talk about the amount. Which kesef? Which kesef means here kamus. Is a full matbea of dinar or 192, which has kuf tzadik beis katzav. Katzav is a butcher in Hebrew. So easy to remember. Katzav. Every dinar has katzav prutot, has 192 prutos. So one out of that, if you give a coin of dinar, and he said, listen, I'll give you 192 of it. So then it's mekudesh, going to be sealed. Don't make a mistake. Dinar davka, you also can give shvei pruto, the value of the pruto inside the dinar. You can give it as even as a copper or any other thing. Yes. Yes. Why not? Not the Tana, not the Tana. The Tana is saying, not after the Tana. The Tana is saying, I said what I said, I shouldn't make a mistake. Because on the Torah says Kesef. This just continues. Being Toima. Please look inside. So glance through, if you follow it with me. Being Toima. It's a mistake to say Kesef Dafka. Rather, Kesef Shvekesef works. Okay, very good. In Toima, Uminolon, the Shvekesef. How do we know the Shvekesef? The whole behold lekamon. Later on, page 16. The Gemara requires a verse. By a Jewish slave. Yoshiv says the word Yashiv Gulato. The word Yashiv is extra. It's superfluous. It's miyuta. Yoshiv lerabo is the extra word. Lerabo has come to superfluous to add shve kesef kekesef. So since we see that Eved Ivri needs a verse to tell me the shve kesef kekesef must be without the verse, I won't know it. But if it's common sense, what I need a verse for? So I want to explain this raya. This raya was talking about the redemption of a slave, Hebrew slave, or the buying of the Hebrew slave. Jonathan. I'm not asking you, Rabbi. I'm asking Jonathan. Which slave are we talking about? Slave either that you buy or that he redeems himself? Okay, so the simple Gemara on page Tetzayin is redeeming. But the Rasha says, so he says, doesn't have a proof. If it meant simply means the redemption, so then there's two problems. The master can say, I bought the slave with money. How can you force me to get rid of him with Shaveh Kesef? So that's why I need a verse. So don't bring a proof that by Kiddushin, you need a verse. Without a verse, I won't know Shaveh Kesef. Only there there's a svara, I need a verse. Because since he bought him with money, so that's why you can't force me with Shaveh Kesef to get redeemed. So therefore, the Rashash learns that the Raya of Toisos was not from Eved Ivri. 1 second. I will hear you, Goldstein, but I want to mix the people. The Rashash says that the Raya of Eved Ivri is not from redemption of Eved Ivri. We're talking about buying Eved Ivri, which Gemara Daf Ches says Yoshiv Guloso goes also on buying, not only on redemption, on buying. And by buying, if I need the verse by buying. If I need the verse by buying, what I need a verse for must be that, and buying is the same like Kiddushin. Kiddushin, the husband and wife once agreed. This knocks out also the Ram. Since the husband and wife agrees, also by Eved Ivri, this master and the slave agreed to be bought and to sell himself and to buy him. So it's a mutual agreement like Kiddushin. And yet we need a posuk Yoshu Rabbi Shvekesef by buying Eved Ivri. Also by Kiddushin in a posuk. Without a posuk, we don't misvora. That's an answer also to Marsho. Marsho says, why wouldn't we let misvora? He can't learn misvora. Because you see, even there's a ritzui by Knias Eved Ivri, by buying an Eved Ivri, there's a ritzui. Still you need a posuk. Without a posuk, I won't know Shvekesef. What do you want to say, Rabbi Shlomo? Right? How do we know we can buy them Shvei Kesef? No! Look in the Gemara Daf Ches. The Pasuk. Oh, what? No! Not because it goes like Yoshiv. The Pasuk Yoshiv Gulosa goes also on the buying.
It goes only on that part. Goes on redeeming.
Yes. So how do we know buying? Misvora, right? But the Gemara uses a Pasuk. But the Gemara says a Pasuk. No, that's not true, Pasuk. No, not look in the Pasuk. Look in the Afchet. Open the Afchet Amud Aleph. 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 Omar Rav Yosef ben Anim on top of the page. 8, page 8. Chet. Omar on top of the first line on top of the page. Omar Rav Yosef ben Anim the Tanya Mikesef Miknosoi. Bekesef uknikna Eved Ivri, you can buy him with money. Velo, if you don't buy him with wheat and vessels. I tvu v'kelim, wheat and vessels. Echidom, in what case he cannot buy a slave with that? If he say he can buy a slave with value of money, vessels, wheat, fruits, I can't be. Yosef Guloso Machmono. The Torah says you redeem it with Yoshiv or Lerabo Shvekesef Kesef. So what do we see? That the Pasuk Yoshiv also the Gemara didn't say Ilem Delom Mekanu Klal Svaruk Shvekesef Kesef. They didn't say that. The Gemara says you can't say that you cannot coin it with vessels and for Eved Ivri because it's a Pasuk. The Pasuk about redeeming. We're talking about buying because the Pasuk also goes on buying. And without Gemara says so. And without the Pasuk, I wouldn't know that Shvei Kesef Kesef. He made that's the Raya. Being Toima will be not Shvei Kesef Kesef. And it's not only by redemption, also by buying. So therefore, I still need a pasuk, even if it's a mutual agreement. Yet I need a pasuk by buying a vidivri. Also by Kiddushin was a mutual agreement. Still need a pasuk. And how do we know without a pasuk that Shvek is a Kesef? It's low. Because any dechia can knock it out. You rather that they're just searching for a pasuk. What do you want to say, Reb Shlomo? Yes. No, the word Gilosa goes on redeeming. Yoshiv Gulosoi. Yoshiv Koyaseu. It's an extra word. The matzah the michtav lefian Gulosoi. Why says Yoshiv? The Rabbi Shvekesef liam pidyon. The cave at the Mifrug Bay. Aknu nami mikne bei dechsiv Gulosoi because of Miknosoi. Possible. No, he didn't stop. He stopped in the middle. The chsiv. The K, let's go over the words again. The K, exactly. The cave and the mifrog bay, since you can redeem him. Aknui mai makni bay the chsiv. Gulosoi mikazim gulosoi. It says in the word Yashiv Gulato, Mikesef Ignato. So after Yashiv Gulato, which goes Yashiv, Shve Kesef Gulato, from Mikesef Gulato, you redeem the Shve Kesef from the Kesef of the buying. So it must be Kesef of the buying, also Shve Kesef. It's shot in the posuk. I won't say even Ekesh. It's shot in the posuk. But in the posuk, so they might say need a posuk. So what do you see? Yes. Yoshiv tells me Shvei Kesef. And once the word Yoshiv tells us, and it says Yoshiv Gulato, Mikesef Ignato, look what the verse. Let's translate the words. Right. And since it says give back money, give back value to redeem him from the money you bought him. And since it says we bring back even Shvei Kesef when you bought him, so it means you also bought him with Shvei Kesef. So that's the pasuk. You have a kasha, but that's a Chazal understood. That's what it means. And that's the pashtas. So since that's the pashtas, the Yoshiv goes also on Kniya, so we need a pasuk for it. And since the Gemara didn't say svara, the Gemara used a pasuk, must. Yes. But the Yoshiv goes on Miknosoi. Yoshiv Gulosoi because of Miknosoi. Right. That's what you're saying. Is that what he's saying? He doesn't say that. The Gemara says a pasuk. Yoshiv Gulosoi. First one, the Gemara says a pasuk. Rashi is where's the pasuk? So he says, since it says Yoshiv, Kroyeseiru, it's an extra verse. The matzah lemichtav lefim gulosei lerabosh must be lerabosh shve kesef liam pidyon. Yes. One second, relax. The cave and the meferik bay, since you redeem him, aknu inami mikne bedechsiv. You also acquire him because it says Yoshiv gulosei mikesef ignosoi. The geula, which is Yoshiv, is from the Kesef Ignosoi. From the Kesef Ignosoi. Correct. So it's a pshat in the pasuk. So we have a pasuk that tells, even though in the kinyan of Ereviri, which is a mutual agreement, yet in the pasuk of Shvei Kesef, also by a woman, even though it's a mutual agreement, the husband and the wife, as the Ran says, it's a svara. They both agreed. There's Ritzu of Shneim. So what? But also by the Kinyan, there's a Ritzu of Shneim. The Ram. I'm saying, Toises here knocks out the Ram. Toises here that says, Uminono Chekes they bring a Raya, and according to Rashash, the Raya is not from the redemption, rather from the Kinyan. So that knocks out the Ram. Look in the Rashash for a second. Pick in the Rashash. Open the Rashash. Open the Rashash, please. Open the Rashash. guys have the Rashash? Yecheskel, where's your book of Rashash? Not around. I saw him starting to daven with a sitter of Kavonos Rashash. Why not? Good, I hope he listens. Normally those people don't listen because they're so involved. It's for good, from a good point. Because they're so excited to reach to the high heights, they jump off the roof. Trying to get what? Sure. But more than that, the Mogan Avrom brings down, and Shabur brings down the Mogan Avrom, that brings down the name of a Zohar. That if somebody doesn't know how to mechaven, he's damaging. It's better not to mechaven, it's a disgrace. You have to know what he's saying. Dark Kiddushin also. So the Rashash, the Maruch says in Akdomo that a person who wants to learn Kabbalah cannot eat meat, has to stand when he learns, has to be married, has to go to mikveh. There's a lot of things that you do. So if you're not married, you're not standing the whole time when you're learning, and you're eating meat. He says, no, I eat not all the time, sometimes meat. Okay. Shabbos. No, even during the week he eats. Come on. Or, right.
Sometimes we want to eat close to Hashem without
Right.
working hard.
That's the point. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing, and I admire. He wants to jump. Get there. It means that's his soul wants. Very good. So I don't want to knock that out. But yes and no, that you have to work hard to get there. It doesn't work like this. Okay, anyhow. Let's see the Rashash. The small Rashash, Toimar. The Ole Kamon mi boy le Kroga bevidivri Yoshi. What do you want to ask, Reb Chaim?
It's only a report to give you a Kiddush that you wouldn't know about. Some is the pashtus.
I didn't say the Pashas. It says the Apostle. Who says the Pashas?
You said it's a pashtus. If you in your state, when you were speaking, you added the word pashtus.
I don't recall. But if I did, it's a mistake. Okay, so I'm mistaken. I didn't really mean to say Pashas. No Pashas. L'choiro yesh lo imar. I'm reading the Rashash. Apparently, there is to say, the also mitzach ko, there's a need for a verse. The afilu kono odo, even if the master bought him bekesef, yuchol lehavdo is balkocha b'shvei kesef. Says, I don't understand the proof. If the proof is from the redemption of David Ivri, therefore I need a pasuk. Because since the master bought him with money, how can I force him to redeem with shvei kesef? He says, how can you force me to get run out of me by force, not with what I bought you? Oh, must be venire. The kavanos of the intention goes on the buying, not on the redemption. Dole come on, the Reish Nafchet, the Maisia Gemora, the Gemora brings down, I call the same verse of Yoshi. Not on the redemption, ela al tchilas kinyono, on the beginning of the buying of the slave. Veloka mitzin of the time, not like it after time. That's it. That's his answer. What do you want to say? But as long as there's a svara, there's no kasha. Toshas brings a raya, a kasha. We see by Eved Ivri, they need a posuk, also by Ishin is a posuk. If I have a kind of svara why there's needed, doesn't shadow on Kiddushin. There's a svara to say, you can doichem, there's a svara to say, you need a posuk because since the master bought the Evu with money, how can you force him to get rid of the slave, b'shvei kesef, with something else which more than what he bought him? So therefore maybe then you need a pasuk to tell you we don't care about it. But not by Kiddushin, maybe I don't need a pasuk. So there's no raya. The kasha falls off. So now, what? Obviously. Okay. Yes. But as long as you don't have a hechach, you cannot have a kasher. Upinyon haben dechsiv gabei kesef. By Pidyon haben, this is continues. How do we know shvei kesef kesef? We see there's a need of a pasuk by Evediv and Rashash explained in the buying of Evediv. So then, this continues. Upinyon haben dechsiv bei kesef, by redeeming a child that is being firstborn. Who here is a firstborn? Baruch, a firstborn. Did you do Pidyon haben on you? The parents have been on you? So today we're going to have to do Pidyon haben for you. Okay. Well, you knocked me out with that. Very good. So Baruch Hashem. You also, somebody else picked up his hand there. Who's this guy? Can't see. Okay. The firstborn. Good. But you're not. No, I thought he going to do for him Pidyon haben. He says, no, he was. But he's not. He says he firstborn, but he came out of the cesarean. So that knocks out the obligation. Cesarean. Okay. Yosef, are you firstborn? Binyamin, you firstborn? Baruch, you firstborn? Yoshua, you're firstborn? I'm not. Definitely not. Good. Let's see. Upidyon haben, when I'm redeeming my son, or somebody redeems his son, the chesiv by kesef. It says the kesef have to give chamisha shkolim kesef. The Omar lekamon, the Gemara says later on, page 8, that Rav Kahana was a Kohen. Kahana Kohen, Kohen Kahana. The Rav Kahana, Rabbi Kahana was a Kohen. Shokil Sudro, he took a scarf, Pidyon haben, which means he received shvei kesef by Pidyon haben. Where says the word nami? Pidyon haben nami. Dechsi bei kesef. Omar lekamon, uminolo the shvei kesef kekesef. Once we see by Evediv, I need a pasuk. So how do I know by Kiddushin and I know by Pidyon haben? That's shvei kesef. If I see by Evediv, by Kinyan, need a pasuk. Wait a second. Maybe by a Kinyan, I need a pasuk. But by redeeming, I don't need a pasuk. No, because Evediv has two parts, as a Kinyan and as a redeeming. So the redeeming part will prove you need a pasuk too. Also, Pidyon haben, I need a pasuk. The Kiddushin I learned from what? From the Kinyan of Evediv. To Pidyon haben I learned from redeeming of Evediv. I need a pasuk. So why Pidyon haben there's no pasuk? Where's the pasuk? That's what I'm saying. So we're learning Pidyon haben from Evediv. He sees by Evediv, which is redemption. I still need a pasuk. So where's the pasuk from Pidyon haben? You learn it from there. So we always can learn from there. As we explained, a Tosfos is in the first position, unless he's forced, he doesn't want to say from Binyanav and Bameh Matzino. Because Bameh Matzino, you always can doiche, you can remove it. Ain't a little pircha. The Gemara says in Baba Kam and all the Rishonim, pircha kol du. Some pircha really knocks it out. Every morning, the last few days, when you read the 13 attributes of Rabbi Shmuel, I remind myself of this Tosfot. Umi, however, the Perek Kama the Shavuos. However, the first chapter of Maseches Shavuos, Davdal Amud Beis, Dorish Klal Upratu Klal. As we learned this morning when you davened the 13 midos, 13 attributes of didn't do what? Okay, but if he learned it, it says there, the klal upratu klal. What is the rule? En baklal ela masha baprat. When I have a rule, detailed and rule, it tells you that the rule only has whatever it's in. No, klal uprat en baklal ela masha baprat. Klal upratu klal. And baklal ke'ein prat, like the prat. not what's in the prat, which is what like the prat. And the Gemara says there, the prat is money, gufoy momoin, and mitaltel, movable things. So comes to exclude land and documents. Documents are not gufoy momoin. Documents themselves are not money. The body of documents are money. Leads you to money. It promises you money. You have a hold of money, but it's not money itself. It's not gufoy momoin. So there we learn don't klal pratu klal. So therefore we include Pidyon Haben. So we have a verse for Pidyon Haben. One second, let's see the Gemara in Shavuos. We have a Gemara in Shavuos here? Let's bring Gemara in Shavuos. Down on the base. You have it here? Jonathan, they brought me here.
Rabbi
Take
Yitzchak,
it yourself. One
Rabbi
say
Yitzchak,
yes.
you're
Go
looking
ahead.
at one, you're looking at War Shvuot. I don't understand. Rabbi Ishmael over there is arguing Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva said he learns Ribui B'mute, and Rabbi
Right.
Ishmael learns Klal Prado Klal.
Right.
And we passed on like Rabbi Akiva over Rabbi Ishmael. So I don't understand why they printed in the back of the Sidurim, or in the beginning of the Sidurim, his Kalalim.
Right. Kabbalah should have written ribu mitu ribu. My ribu akoil. My mir dovorechon. Right. I had discussion this morning too, and I have an answer for that. It's a good question. When I was reading this morning, I was saying, why didn't talk about ribu miut ribu? It's a good question. I don't know. But they bring Rabbi Shmuel somehow. Because maybe the Rabbi Shmuel was the only one that made up a Seder on the whole thing. You understand?
Yeah.
So they found a Braita, he made a Seder. So they wrote it down. Even on some parts, the Rabbi Akiva argues in there, but they brought a Seder. So the Gemara says like this. It says in the Pasuk, Upduyo b'bnei chodesh tifde. It's in Daf Daled Amud Beis. Says tifde upduyo b'nei chodesh tifde be'erkecho kesef 5 שקלים בשקל הקודש 20 גאו. So the Gemara learns a pasuk. Upduyo b'nei chodesh, it's a klal. Be'erkecho, it says you redeem for 1 month. It's a general redemption. Then it says your value, be'erkecho, your value, it's a prat. Then it goes again, tifde, you should redeem. It's a general word. So you have ribui, miut, and ribui. So then what's the rule? Klal prat and then tadan elakein prat. Ma prat, the details, which is kesef, dobo shamitaltel. Kesef, silver, is something you can move. The gufa momin, and it's money itself, because it's silver. Av kol dobo mitagun, you can redeem anything which is movable, and the body of it is money. To exclude Yotzik HaKois, land, which is not movable, Shein Metadim, and not movable. The Yotza Avodim, slave, Shukri HaKois, which is like land. Yotzu Shtoro is to exclude also documents, Alpha Bish Metadim, even though they move around, and Guva Mama, and the body of documents are money. So we exclude land, slave, and documents. Okay? This is what Taisa says. So he found the apostle. So he found the apostle according to Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbanon there, there's Klal Upatu Klal, and therefore there's a apostle that tells you anything which is money, Gufar Momoin, even though it's Shvei Kesef, is like Kesef. As long as Mitaltel and Gufar Momoin. We don't care we don't care, it doesn't have to be silver itself. Even similar things. As long as Mitaltel and Gufar Momoin. What? No, it's Pashat Gemara. You have to find this Gemara. Gemara in Kiddushin says, Afkana wrote, took Shvei Kesef. Where's the source? He found again the source.
Only because the person, other person, sure gets. No, this must be the later the Gemara. What is it called for Taka and Shtar? Fuki Taka and Shtar. That even that doesn't work. Taka and Shtar doesn't work.
Good question. Then I should have said, by Pidyon Ben, we find Shvei Kesef. I'll tell you why. Because it's understanding. It's understanding in the Ribui. When I say Ribui, miyat v'riba, or klal uprat uklal, Ribui miyat v'riba, my riba akol, my miyat dover echon. You might only stories. So definitely everything's included. And even klal uprat uklal, you have keina prat to remove land, slave, and documents. But either way, if it's a prat uklal, klal uprat uklal, or ribui mid v'riba, either way, both ways, you merab everything. Merab shvei kesef. So it's a ribui. No, he definitely not the Gemara like that.
Can't say that because we didn't know the Gemara, it doesn't know the shot and the Brian is a kusha, no? There's a kusha against Pidyon Ben, which says, Pidyon Ben, we're doing on Pidyon Ben, it's because of Shavik Kesef. They had brought this from Shavuot, which teaches that there is a place that Pidyon Ben teaches Shavik Kesef.
Shvei kesef, yes.
You miss how much of the Shavik Kesef.
It's a good question. Why just take it as a statement? Opinion Ben, there is klal uprat uklal. No, merab everything. We only might store is karkoes and avodim, but anything else is part of it. So you see, takes us kesef lav davka. The question is the language of Tosot. This is opinion Ben, the chsiv bei kesef. V'ol lekamon later on it says Rav Kahana shochas opinion Ben, which means you can use shvei kesef. Uminon shvei kesef kesef. Umiu, what is the word miu? However, beperikam eshuas don't. They said they know that. That's the language of miu. He should have said uminolon v'darshinon b'shvuos. Or it says v'osam shvei kesef darshin b'shvuos kal baduklan. Yes. No, but Pidyon Ben, yes. Doesn't matter. Either way, Ribu means riba kol miut of orechot, but definitely riba kol other rabbis. Ribu miut riba means riba merabbe more. Kalu patuklal, it's only kein. She merabbe less. But either way, besides storois or contrary other opinion, besides land, avodim and storois, everything is included. So definitely shvekes is included.
You just say slow without the kesef. Comes the ribui, it tells you, because not the ribui, you say only chametz sloim, not that kesef, not shove kesef. It's chametz sloim, it says. It doesn't say chametz shove kesef, it says. So the Adam said it's only not shove kesef, because it's chametz sloim. What? I know, it's going to meal, it's only like the...
Okay, I don't know. A good question. I don't know the answer yet.
Maybe because it's not strong like a fossil.
What?
Now we find a fossil for everything.
Yes.
I don't know,
Yes, there's a apostle. Ribui. No. No, yitu. There's no apostle. It's a yitu. Extra word. Extra word by Be'even and Kal Patuka. What's the difference? Extra word is a ribui. Or either way is a midah of the Torah. Ribui, extra word, yitu, or Kal Patuklan. What's the difference? It's a good question. I don't know the answer.
Maybe Kalapatu is less than Binyana. Because if you look for Nebedivri, is like a Binyana. But Shaken, Kalapami is less than Binyana. The Miu is less. Maybe Kalapa is less than Binyana.
There's a need to him in.
Less than it. Less than it.
That's what he answered. The movement. I don't know if it's true. Could be. But I can hear such a possibility. Aval, but. You hear what they answered you about? Yes. Kalavatukal is less of a limud. Yitu, extra word, Yitu is mamish like a posuk, it's written in the Furosh. Kalavatukal, it's less of a Furosh, and there's just me, however, there's a Kabbalah included there. Right? So they answered you. Why didn't say direct? Because it's less. So that's just a meal. I know. From the language, you can make a mistake, you know. You say meal means less. He's searching for a real verse, not less. Or Hebrew real verse. Aval, that's an option to answer that. Aval, but, I'm continuing in Tosfot. Aval gabe erhin, but by erhin, dechsiv bei kesef. Somebody says, my value. I need to pay my value to Beis Hamikdash. There says the word Kesef. The Egdesh Nami, also if somebody sanctifies something, also it says the Kesef. The Snan, as it says, and Mishnah Echin, Gabe Amagdi said the one who sanctifies his field to the Beis Hamikdash, She'egdesh Nivda, you can redeem the sanctity, the Kesef, Shve Kesef, with money and also value of money. It's a Mishnah in Echi. So the question comes back, how do I know that? How do I know that Echin and Hegdesh I can redeem Shvei Kesef? Minol Shvei Kesef, since we find by a Vedivri in the Pasuk, and since we find by Pidyon Aben in the Pasuk, so by a Kinyan in the Pasuk, by a Pidyon in the Pasuk, so how come Echin and Hegdesh, which is a Pidyon, how do we know without a Pasuk? But since each one has a chiddush, so where's the pasuk here?
It's a unique kiddush, isn't it? A pasuk needs a sport.
So okay, if what do you mean? He's saying all those verses are unique. Good. Okay, that's a possibility theory answer. There's only a theory. Because I'm not saying true or not. I'm saying is to say what you say is cheap. Because you're not filling up the reasonings of why each one is needed. Doisus later on, which answers this, he gives a reasoning, not stam. You talk about theories, possibilities of possible answers. We're talking about now the truth. What it contains. So you can't just say,
never proved it like that. Two sugyas that happen to have same words, that's no proof.
why not?
It's not a proof. It's stop. This word and that word. So what? That's no proof. You haven't even proof.
It says the word kesef. It says the word kesef. And I see anywhere else by kinyonim and by pidyoins. It says the word kesef too, and there, and there, and there I have a verse. So where's the source? By Erchin I have a verse. By Pidyon Aben I have a verse. I mean I made a mistake. Evedivri and the Pidyon Aben is a verse. By Erchin Eidesh, where's the verse?
Don't have a verse. That's not true.
Why not? Why not? I'm not a hechad of a kasha. You have to give me an answer. Why it starts with a kasha? Because that's a simplicity. What?
It's not a hechra. This and this, yes and that. No, that's no hechra. Come on.
When I have psukim in the Torah, which means, and without it I don't know it. If the Torah says something, this is a basic rule. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second is a basic rule that the Torah, something which you understand on yourself, something, no. There's a basic rule. You didn't hear my basic rule. Listen. There's a basic rule that the Torah doesn't bring a posuk or ribui if I know it on my own. This is a fundamental understanding. In many places in Shas, there's a fundamental rule. The Torah are not for babies. Hashem wrote his Torah for Kiddushin. Someone will understand on my own. Or something that needs strength. So if I find a posuk by Evedivni and by Pidyon Aben, must be, the simple conclusion is that I will know it on my own. So I have two options. Or they're special, or there's a common denominator when it says Kesef means not Shve Kesef unless it includes it. So the simple understanding is that when it says Kesef, Shevek is not included. In those places, the Torah says it is Shve Kesef. So Mele, anywhere else which I don't know those verses, how do I know it from? That's this question.
He's making a dimion between. He's like a binyan.
Obviously, but that's the way the simplicity goes. He's not saying an echach, he's saying an understanding. And therefore he has a question.
Yeah, but he brought that as a statement and then
As a question, right? As a question, that's a simple question. You can say otherwise, but you have to explain it. Yes, Avamina, the simple Avamina is that when it says the word Kesef, Shvei Kesef is not part of that, unless there's a posuk for it. That's a simplicity. Right? Kesef is a word. Exactly, you said it right. You said it very good. Kesef is a word. Umiu, however, simple. Okay, that's it. Umiu, however. Begdeishos, because the reason why I'm continuing on because I'm not listening to you. The answer of the Rishonim Otoises is that's the answer, but they explain it. Don't just say that's special. The kasha was they give an explanation. So I said your words is cheap. Just say a chiluk and how you can make a possibility of chilukim. I can open the book of Ramchan and tell you the possibilities. There's 11 possibilities. Not 1, 11. Okay, but we want to choose the right one and give the context of it. So let's continue on. Umi, however, Begdeishos Nami, and sanctity also, efshar possible. The darshin on klal upratu klal. Here's the word efshar. Ubeegdeishos nami efshar. By Egdeishos also possible. By Pidyon Ben, this valid prat uklal uprat. By Egdeishos also possibly, Darshinon also. No, he's not saying that. Before he says miu, now says here says efshar. Umiu, however, Begdeishos efshar, nami efshar, also possible. The Darshinon klal uprat uklal. Now Toshas didn't find in Shas that by Egdeishos the klal uprat uklal, but he found indications that there's a drosha of klal uprat uklal. Why? The whole behold, ein egdesh nifda bekaka. You don't redeem Egdesh, sanctity with land, can I be Mazov? The Gemara Nazov says, Arahomu in Egdesh Mischalaga Bekaka. The Rachmon Amar Venosama Kesef Ekomno. The Gemara learns, it says the word Kesef means not Kaka. Velakamon Nami Amrinon later on, the Gemara Nafei says, and Poidim Egdesh Umazasheni Beshtar. So you don't redeem with land, you don't redeem with document. So must be that since there is said the word Kesef, and before the word Kesef, there's a klal. Kesef is a prat. And another klal later on by Egdesh, some verse. The klal prat klal has to be similar to Kesef, movable things, in gufa moment, but land and documents are out. So Tosh is making up a possibility of a drosha of klal prat klal, because we see indications that by Egdesh we learn the passage when it says Kesef means only Kesef, not land. Only Kesef, not document. How do we know? Maybe Kesef means all values. Must be this klal prat klal that tells you similar to Kesef, that is gufa moment and mitaltel and movable things. That's called a possibility. Possibility, they found indications that it's possible. Mimela this concludes, aval, that's a conclusion of Tosfot. Aval ga Kiddushin ve'echin, by Kiddushin and Echin, Tosfos couldn't find. He made a Google search, a rabbinical Tosfos search. He says, Minola, how do we know the Shvei Kesef Kesef? How do we know the value of Kesef is like Kesef? Again, Tosfos says, by Pidyon Ben, I found Klal Prat Klal. By Egdesh and Erchim, Egdesh, and by Egdesh, there's indication that there's also Klal Prat Klal. By Evedivid is a posuk, by Pidyon Ben there's a Klal Prat Klal, and by Egdesh there's the indications that we see by the laws of Egdesh that there is a Klal Prat Klal, because we exclude land and exclude documents. Possible, Efshot, this is. So therefore, okay, so the Egdesh is out of the picture, is possible, yes, possible or not. But definitely not. There's no posuk definitely by Kiddushin and by Echin. So we know, how do we know this?
It says Kesef. By Echin it says Kesef, and by Kiddushin it says Kesef. Not only the negative, but also the positive. By Kiddushin says Kesef.
Right.
And by Echin it says Kesef.
Correct.
Not only the negative, but the positive.
Yes. So how do we know Shvei Kesef Kesef? We see by Evedim, even by Kinyonim. Okay. Now, Erchin, stop for a second. Erchin, so Tosfos answers, the Shloima, the Alfina Me'evedivri. Tosfos answers, we learn from Evedivri. Here, there's the two possibilities how to read Tosfot. One is the tradition way of the Maharsho, Rashash, Atzmos Yosef, Avnei Miluim, all the Mefoshim I print the page. Most of them, they learn Yalfim Elvi means Bamimatzinu Binyanav. What is Bamimatzinu Binyanav? We found in the Torah by Eved Ivri that Shvei Kesef Kesef. So it's a bit, you build a father from that. You build the source. That's the father that gives over to the children. That's a source that teaches other places also by Kiddushin and Echin. The problem with this traditional understanding, that any questions, any slight difference that I can find between Eved Ivri and those that have been learned from, those that learned from him, Kiddushin and Echin. If I find some kind of a difference in Kiddushin and Eved Ivri, or Echin and Eved Ivri, you really cannot learn. You cannot learn one from another. Any Binyan Navi Matzinu, if Pircha Koldu, any Pircha Koldu is out. So there's a Pircha here. What's the Pircha? What's the Pircha against Toisvis? What? No, that's the Marshal. And there's a lot of answers to it. There's one question which we don't have an answer for. What? Good. That's a special din of Evedivri. But we want to knock out the limud between Evedivri and Kiddushin. He's saying good. Evedivri can he redeem himself there for what? So therefore what? Okay, good. Saying very good. That's the kash of the Pnei Yehoshua. The Yeshua knocks out the pshat of all the mefoshim because he brings what he's asking stronger. He said, "Is this question not? I made it up." The Gemara already asks the same question, similar. No. The Gemara wants to know, how do I know kesef by a woman? So in Kicha, there's an option in Gemara. The Gemara wants to learn out from Amo Ivriya, from a maidservant, a Jewish maidservant. A Jewish maidservant you buy with money, also a woman you buy with money. There's a hekesh between a Jewish woman and Amo Ivriya. It says, V'macheres ikachloi. The word acheres. There's a hekesh. So the Gemara says you can't learn from Amo Ivriya. Why? Because Amo Ivriya also can be redeemed with money. So this Kesef Koine, Kesef Yoitze, which means Kesef is chosh over there. Even to take her out. But Isha, that you cannot get out with money, only with divorce, bill of divorce. Can a woman leave her husband paying money? No. Only bill of divorce. Or is death. Or bill of divorce. There's no other way. That money doesn't take her out. So by Ivriya, you know why Shvei Kesef not why Kesef work, because also Kesef can get redeemed. But by Isha, Kesef cannot be take her out of the relation of her husband. So that's why he cannot coin it. So the Perishas, the same thing is, he cannot learn Shvei Kesef from Evedivri. Because Evedivri, not only can he buy with it, you can buy with money in Shvei Kesef, you also can redeem with Shvei Kesef. But a woman cannot be redeemed, cannot get out of her husband with money or value of money. So who says Shvei Kesef would work by her? So that's why he says, it's not a good learning. You cannot learn Evedivri to Kiddushin.
We learn it from Evedivri, but because of the din that Isha is Kekarkaros. Isha is Kekarkaros. Eved Kekarkaros. It's a din. Isha is like Eved, but not because of Babel Matzim. It's because Etzema, a din shel Isha is Kekarka. It's Karka. And then you apply the same rules.
It's Evedivri. Eved K'nai is like Karka. Evedivri is not like Karka. Okay. So now.
The father of the woman who will pay the money to divorce her, so who divorce her if he pays enough money?
Yeah, but it's not the money that takes her out. The odds are the bound, yes. Good. Now, the Pnei Yehoshua, because of this, learns that the Alfilim and Evedivri is not a limud of Binyan Navi Matzinu, rather is a Gilui and a Loshoin. We learn from Evedivri there's a Gilui in the language. When it says the word Kesef, it means Shvei Kesef too. Yes, the Pnei Yehoshua is it's all in the papers, and it's already late now. You guys have to prepare inside. So we did half the Tosfot at least, Baruch Hashem. I didn't get to the Marashov, but we have to do the other half with the Marashov. What? Right. But he learns the Alfilin means the Alfilin on the Loshon. Not a limud of the dinim, limud on the Gilu and the Loshon. He explains it. It goes back and forth. It's a dochuk in the language, but it's very mevuvach and svar. Rabbi Hananya ben Akash Yonim. But there's a way to answer all the traditional ways. Baruch, what's the way to answer the traditional way? You know what's the answer? I want to say it tomorrow in Shul Kroll, but I already tell you now. You need to spill the beans.
I can't even spell.
You learn it from Evedivni and Nezikim beyachad.
That must spell it. I can't even-
Then all those, there's no pichas anymore. What is big? That's what it is.